What's up, everyone? All right, so we're going to do another breakdown here today of a trade that I took on. Well, we'll do a couple, but the one that we'll be primarily looking at is DLPN. And this one, it was definitely pretty interesting the way it traded. It surprised me a little bit. So I'm going to break it down for you here in this video. All right, so let's play. I'm going to press play. Let's see, how do I do this? Back out of screen share. There we go. All right. So we're coming up here with about 8 minutes to the bell, and I'm going to do my final kind of recap before we start trading. So I'll let you listen in on the recap.
All right. So CHFS, SNOA, DLPN.
You got your two favorite teachers here with you again today.
So I would say right now, initially, these are all worth watching. I'm a little bit iffy on CHFS, only because the last couple times we've traded it, it didn't hold up super well. But it does have news this morning.
Notice I added my keystrokes here, so you'll see the keystrokes that I was typing. That'll be helpful when we're looking at the hotkeys. CHFS this morning ended up completely failing. Didn't take a trade on it, and so that was the right move. So CHFS was no go.
And I think it's worth watching for a possible scalp over the highs. So high of day is 65, 365. So I can watch it over that level. So I've got my order entry still ready at 365, 365. All right, SNOA. This one has pulled back just a little bit. I am interested in it, but I'm probably thinking on this one, because it is trending down a little bit, it needs to break over that descending resistance line. So maybe if it gets over something like 472, it would start to look a little bit better. Right now it's just still kind of trending down, which is not my favorite, but it could pop back up. The issue with this is that it is going to start to run into moving average resistance as it starts to curl up. It's not as strong of a daily chart, so that one's a maybe. All right, next one, DLPN. Not a lot of volume on this one. It's gapping up 18%. Pre-market high here is 450, so that's a level to watch. I'm iffy on it. It seems like something to keep an eye on because it could probably open up, but I'm just going to put my order right now at 455. If it starts to move, we'll see. I'm not totally sure.
So on this one, I prepped the order for 5,000 shares, thinking that this is one that it looks just on the level 2 like it could move. And I say that because it's 417, 423, and then there's like nothing else. On the other side, it's 410, 408, 390, and then like nothing else. So that's the type of stock that potentially very quickly could squeeze like right up to $5. So that's why I sort of on that one was thinking that there might be a little bit more potential on it if it started to open up, and that was an if. I really wasn't sure.
So that gives us 3 to watch right now: CHFS, SNOA, and DLPN. In my IRA account, CHFS I think would be a quick scalp. SNOA is also...
And remember, quick scalps I can't take in the IRA because I need to have a trade that I feel really confident in for a bigger winner. And then DLPN, the price being a little on the higher side, I just felt like I couldn't trust it. Didn't end up taking any trades today in the IRA. All right, so we're fast forwarding here a little closer to the bell. So we've got about a minute left. Coming into the open here. So just before the open, here you have SNOA. It dipped down. It broke the bottom of this line right down here. But then it ended up popping right back up. So I'm still watching it over 72. And again, I usually prefer to get in at half dollars, whole dollars, and at nickels and dimes. So I'm thinking getting in at 70 is probably better. And if it breaks 70, it should immediately break 72. And then the next target is high of day. But we still have that moving average right here of 496.
We'll top at the pre-market high of 5, so just be mindful of that.
All right.
CHFS.
So here comes the open. So I'm going to put my
Watching
order
SNOA
ready right here,
first.
75.
for a scalp.
Pressing the buy button 3 times.
For a scalp at 470.
So I press the buy button 3 times. I click it 1, 2, 3, and I'm in. Right there. 7,500 shares at 470. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, when I get in these, I want to instantly be green, and I'm already red $327. This might be a problem. So immediately I'm thinking, all right, is this going to hold up? And so I'm watching it very carefully. It pops up. It goes to 78, 79, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start taking a little bit of profit on this just to be safe. So there's an order right there, Control L, right? That's the hotkey that I use to sell half on the ask. So I'm selling half on the ask. Oops. Let's see, I got to go back here. So,
Sent away for a scalp at 470.
So I sell half on the ask. I press Control Q to cancel the order. And then I sell the rest on the bid. So Control Q cancels my open orders. Control L, I push the control button, but I don't send an order. I'm just kind of have my button ready. And then I press Control Q to cancel this order right here to sell on the ask. And I'm looking at it thinking that if it breaks below 75, it could go back to 66 pretty quickly and then to 44. So I just should probably lighten up and get out. And so, boom, I flip and sell the rest on the bid, get filled at 75, which almost seems unfair because right here it's at 79. But it was the right move because then 75.
A little bit unsure. So I sold
and boom,
half on the ask and the rest on the bid.
Now you're back at 65.
Half at 77, the rest at 75. DLPN.
Okay, so as I finish up that trade, those boings that I'm hearing, those are DLPN hitting my scanner. So DLPN is hitting my scanner and popping up, and I'm like, okay, I look at this and I see 430 on the ask, 440, and then 461. So that tells me this can very quickly go right to 461, and that's why I was aggressive about boom, 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 punching the order right here to get in. Sorry, I haven't punched it yet. I'm going to punch it in 1 second. And on this one,
on the scanner.
Shift 1. I'm using my hotkey. Shift 1 to get in. I don't even have time to type it. I'm just saying Shift 1 and I'm a buyer. So I press it 4 times. 10,000 shares.
And I'm long at 435 on.
And they're filling, but obviously I'm like, hold up. It seems like there might be a little bit of a hidden seller right here at 35, and I'm a little unsure.
DLPN. So long DLPN,
right?
435.
You see how there's looks like maybe a hidden seller.
This one we knew was worth keeping.
So now I'm like, okay, that's not bad. 44, 50. Okay, good, looking good. That's what we wanted to see.
Close eye on. So DLPN.
Canceled my order for the rest, and now this is where things get a little scary. 433, and then hold up, all the way back down to 406, because I've got 9,000 shares. If I sell at 406, I'm losing 2,500 bucks. So now I'm a little bit nervous, and look what happens.
Let's see what this does.
All of a sudden, we just hit 415 and 405 and then 385. And I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in the red, 1,600 bucks. So now on this one, I'm thinking this isn't really as much about having a big winner. Now I'm like, this just double topped against the pre-market high, and it looks like it's doing a rejection. So now I'm like, I need to start to unwind this position to reduce my risk.
So the high on DLPN was 450.
So we see it pop up here. We've got 39 on the ask, 44, 39 right there. There's 50, and now I'm like, okay, I need to start piecing out to reduce my risk. I want to start unwinding this position, and so I'm selling at 49. This again, you know, if I was in the trade and it immediately went to 450 and then 460, 470, I probably would have held the whole thing. I might have added. But in this case, the way it started to turn around, I was like, I got to start unwinding because I just went from being red 1,600 bucks to, you know, being back in the green. I should be grateful. So now I'm starting to unwind the position a little bit.
450 on the ask.
which is smart because now look again 23 and then 05 below that and 36 on the high side. I'm going to mute this just for a second. All right, so then we flash back up to 48, and I'm still trying to unwind the position, flipping back and forth between being break even and being at a profit on the ask, but knowing very quickly this could go back down. So the high of the first candle was like 55. So I'm trying to scale out, putting my orders on the ask, and again, you can see the hotkeys that I'm using to sell on the ask. So Control L to sell half on the ask. Control L to sell on the ask. Control, and then I'm going to press it in a second. Sometimes I press Control just kind of while I'm thinking, because I'm like, which way am I going to do this? Am I going to press Control Z and bail out on the bid, or am I going to press Control Q? Am I going to cancel an open order? And I'm about to bail out on the rest here. I'm still holding 1,500 shares. Not sure what I'm going to do. Holding Control. I see the cells going through there. Sell orders. Sell orders. And I'm thinking this is not what I wanted to see. I don't like seeing all those sell orders. I feel iffy about it. The 1 minute chart isn't ideal. And so I just finally bailed. So I sold the rest on the bid. And... I guess got faked out because it looked like it was a lot of selling. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to bail out. I sell the rest on the bid, and then it's boom, it pops up. So then I'm like, oh, dang it. Well, you know what? Okay, if it goes back over 50, I'll just add back. I'll add back what I sold.
Got my hotkey ready to add back.
So ready to add back, watching the time of sales, pressing shift. Ready to press shift 1 to add. Want to see 44
the first
break.
1 minute candle to make a new high.
See the buyers. Boom,
Long
boom.
at 444 for the break over 450.
And look at how quickly we
That's
go
the
to.
first 1 minute candle.
See how fast that happened?
It. You can see this one's interesting because it's.
That's how fast that happened. So getting in at 444 and 445 with 5,000 shares. 2 seconds later, I'm up 20 cents and I'm selling half. That was instant gratification, instant winner. And that's honestly what we like to see on a breakout. We're buying a breakout. We're buying an apex point. They should go instantly.
Like 470 and then all of a sudden $5 on the ask. So you can see it can
So now we have
fast.
a high of 470.
High was 475. So now 475 is the spot to watch. Just added at 470.
Again, pressing shift 1, my hotkey, adding at 470. On this one, now I've got 3,700 shares. Average cost is 461. So I'm kind of just down 50 bucks on the bid. But knowing this could very quickly go to $5.
To see if it does open up for a test of $5. See what it does here. 470 on the ask. There's 475. 480.
Selling on the ask.
Scaling out. Taking
selling
some
on
profit.
the ask. Taking profit.
This one's a little bit crazy. It's kind of the spreads are all over the place. Stopped out of the rest of it for now. At 457.
So
I
there.
can add back.
2,400
bucks.
bucks.
Is 485. So now we're 485 would be my next scalp.
So these scalps are getting in, and then I sell
Just
quickly.
added at 485.
I'm expecting
Added at 485 for
a
the
break over $5.
$5. There's 490, 494, 494.
On a stronger stock, I probably would have added right here. But on this one, the way it's just jumping around, I felt that I needed to be a little bit more careful and not continue to add because I wasn't sure it was going to work well.
5.
So I'm selling at that whole dollar instead of adding.
The highs there. Is it going to break $5?
So we're looking to see if it'll break over the $5 spot. Got the high right there. There's the break, and boom, 510. So selling 505 into that break. Still dealing with spreads that are pretty big. Worried it could be a false breakout, and this hasn't given us a first 5-minute candle to make a new high, which makes me a little nervous. Sorry,
510, so
first
I can
1
order
minute
at
candle.
510 for the next scalp up.
So now watching
510.
over
We've got room to
510
know
for a
till
scalp.
632. Just added at 509 for
Continuing
a
to
scalp over
scalp.
510.
So here,
This is showing some strength.
with increasing volume coming in, these can start to really ramp up where they go up, 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 and they just really take off. The daily chart shows resistance at 632, and that's the nearest resistance point.
So I'm just going to keep scalping the legs up. Got a high of 520.
So I'm back in at 507, sold half 514, put an order to sell more at 518, taking profits, 10 cents, 250
You see
bucks.
516, 554, how quickly it could open up. New stop.
So what I said there is how 516, 518, and then 554 is like the next level. So that tells us it could very quickly go to 554 if this does open
Will
up.
be below 5. High is 520. We really need a 1 minute micro pullback on DLPN in order to manage risk.
So right now we're seeing short sellers bailing out by covering. Long traders are jumping in, FOMO chasing it. You're hearing it on the scanners.
550.
550 on the ask. I'm only holding
So
370
remember,
shares.
633 is our 200 moving average.
But see, look how quickly it could go back to 497, right? I mean, it could drop pretty quickly here. This is a thinly traded stock.
We still haven't had a good
1.5
1
million
minute pullback
shares.
on this, so I've just been scalping high day breaks, which has been working, but not exactly. You know, I'd love to get a good pullback entry so I can, you know, take a trade for the next leg up that's clean with a.
So right here is a little bit of a micro pullback happening at 550. It would be a high risk
with a
trade.
good stop.
High risk because it just came up $1.
Right now, I'd keep an order at the $0.50, around 54.
My level 2 freezes again. Been having these weird internet issues lately, and so I kind of missed the
Tapped high
break,
of 70,
and maybe that was
so
for the best.
I have a high of 70.
And now 39 and then 12. See how fast it can go back right down to 12 here? And it will. It'll go down
This,
quickly.
interestingly, is easy to borrow on Lightspeed. I don't know if it's easy to borrow for other brokers as well, but that could mean kind of beginner short sellers would take a short position early and then could get squeezed out if it does go over highs. So this looks like it's the first 1 minute pullback. High is 570.
I'm still holding with an average of 507, up $100. I mean, it's kind of like at this point it's irrelevant. I'm just holding with a stop at break even and deciding whether or not I can get back in the trade. So there's 77 new highs.
To me, that's not really a good entry because it didn't actually pull back as much as I would have liked it to. It's not actually a red candle. But we have a new high now of 77. I buy on the ask, and I always try to sell on the ask. But if I don't get filled on the ask, then I'll, switch direct. I'll just sell on the bid.
All right, and with that, I'm going to have to bail out as it comes back
So
down to my entry.
505.
So $3,005.13. Not the easiest trade. It was a little bit closed at the beginning, but it did end up opening up. So you can see it's just kind of a little jaggy, little, up and down, and now it comes back down, and that ends up being it for the rest of the day on that stock. So at this point, I'm up $3,500 in 7 minutes. It's a good day. The safer entry for you guys probably would be waiting on this type of setup, the first pullback. My entry right out of the gates was higher risk, but it did end up working. All right, so and then the last trade is LFIN. This one, it's squeezing up. It's going parabolic, and I'm looking at just went from 1250 to 1650, and it's about to get halted. So I'm watching this for a little scalp into the halt. So as soon as I pull it up, I see that it looks like it's about to get halted at 57. So watch, see how this is trading? It looks like it's pinned here at 57.
It's very close to getting halted.
Right, and then it continued.
So I would watch it possibly over 57 to maybe ride into a halt.
So now I'm watching it over this level. Again,
It almost got
volume
halted
ramping
there at
up.
57.
Want to ride up into the squeeze, into the
So if
halt.
it breaks 57 and goes to 17, I'm long at 58 for a squeeze into a possible halt. I'd add possibly over. I'm going to add here at 91.
You can tell it's
Try
about to get
add into the
halted.
halt.
I've got an order out.
Hands on the
I
trigger.
filled 200 shares, 300 of shares, 366 shares, and now it's going to show the H here. It'll be
You can
halted.
still see, okay,
Halted.
and it's halted. So I'm long at 1659 with 2,900 shares.
So it's going to be halted for 5 minutes on a circuit breaker.
Daily chart.
Daily chart here shows room up to the 9 moving average. So we've got room there. Moving average is all the way up to $25. So we've got some room. The thing is, when this resumes, let's see. So it's going to resume in about 2 minutes. When it resumes, it ends up squeezing and then doing kind of like a false breakout. And I managed to make some money on it, but it's not the win that I wanted. So what I'm going to do here, we know the halt time was at 9:51 and 35 seconds. And if it's a 5-minute halt, it'll open at 9:56 and 31 seconds. So here's 9:56, 20 seconds. So now we're watching for the resumption. So here we go. Now I was watching to add on this. I was thinking I was going to scalp it. So here we go. There's the high of 44. So we hit 44. I put an order at 39 to sell half. I'm up $1,800, right? I'm like, I got to start taking some profit. Order's not filling. And now I'm like, uh-oh, I got to sell because this is 17 on the bid. And then it's 16.75. And I'm going to go right down to break even. So I put an order to sell half on the bid. Control Z, bail out. Boom. Look at that. All the way down to 16.10. That's how fast that dropped. So this did not hold up well at all. I was in too high. Now I've got to unwind this position. I've got an order at 34 to sell half, and I'm going to sell the rest as it comes back up. So I get out right there half, and now it's back at 70, 70, and I'm putting my order at 63, basically to sell the rest break even if I can. I try to sell on pops back up to minimize the damage. I'm going to get filled right here on this little pop, and I'll be out of the trade. Boom. So managed the risk well, but it wasn't the cleanest. And, I got in high. That's always the risk with this type of setup. The potential is that it could have opened around 1750 and gone to 18, and I could have made $3,000. The downside risk on it, maybe $1,500 loss. So again, that's 2-to-1 profit loss ratio, which is sustainable. All right, so that was a quick lesson, kind of breaking down the trades from this morning. $3,973.71. Green is good, up $31,000, $32,000 on the week. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed that, and look forward to more videos like this coming soon.